STL Medical Weight Loss. See the Dr. Joe difference at stlmedweightloss.com.
Hello and welcome to the Frank and Jill Show on a Monday morning. Thrilled you're here. Jill Farmer, Steve Sabard sitting in for Frank, hardest working guy in St. Louis media. He's on assignment this week. Frank is, and so we've got some fun guests going to be co-hosting this week. Connor with us as well. Steve, thanks so much for sitting in. It's always fun to have you.
Good to be here with you and Connor. Appreciate it.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
It was good. It was, I played a little golf on Saturday. Yesterday wasn't real golf weather. Today's not real golf weather, but we're going right back to golf weather pretty soon. So I always tell people, right, we always get spring fever late February. It turns nice. Early March. March is usually very bad.
Yes.
Very inconsistent in these parts.
Yes, this is what I like to call fake spring. We're in fake spring, and it will just tease us along and give us these days every once in a while that are just perfect, and we start to really think like, oh man, I'm going to move all the winter clothes downstairs. I'm going to put away the hats and gloves, and then it's 29 degrees again.
But in 3 months, we'll be wanting a break from the heat index.
Yes, and we kind of act a little surprised by it, a little offended by the whiplash every single year, and of course we have no business being offended by any of that whiplash. I tell you what, though, I was down in Nashville area for a girls' weekend, played some pickleball, and when driving south, you get 2 or 3 hours south of St. Louis and the trees are all blooming and everything's starting to green up. And I just kind of could feel my heart opening a little bit and thought, yeah, I won't be sad when we start to see that happening closer to home.
But then we go back below zero for a day or two, and then it kills all the blooms and everything else. Right?
Yeah. And how was your travel this weekend, Sir Connor? St. Patrick's Day in Chicago. That is
good.
A party.
It was fun. It snowed on Saturday in Chicago, so it was kind of the opposite direction that you had. It was very cold up there.
So you got a little taste of some extended winter.
Yeah, although I guess today it's so cold, I'm just right back into the cold.
Yeah, so you just carry
I never
it with you.
I never got the warm weather again.
So you and a few 100,000 of your closest friends went to see the Green River, and
it was cool. It was fun. A lot of people down there. Yeah,
it's
like what we estimate. Like a lot of people.
I don't
know. Say they have 1 million.
I don't know. That big of a crowd, hard to estimate, but hundreds of thousands, a couple 100,000.
According to the people who used to estimate the VP Fair, there were 7 million people down in Chicago yesterday. 'Cause remember when they would tell us that there was like a million people down at the Arch Grounds, and somebody else said, well, it was more like 100,000, but who's counting? I do know it's very common for colleges that are within driving distance of Chicago. So I'm talking like Indiana, Wisconsin, big colleges, Champaign. For a lot of the college campuses
It
kids
seemed
to
like there was
a
lot of young college kids there. Maybe that means I'm just old now, but it did seem like there were a lot of college kids there.
Those whippersnappers, 19, 20-year-old.
The youths.
Yes, youths were hanging out. But that's so only Steve held down the fort here. Did you talk to anybody, Steve, who had to travel within the last couple of days?
No, I don't think so.
So I had. Well, several people in our group were trying to fly home or fly back, and it was a travel nightmare yesterday. And later on in the week, when Frank checks in on some basketball stuff with us, he can recount it. But I think he had what was supposed to be your 3 or 4 hour travel day turned into a 14-hour with delays. Barely made it back in time for his show
Sunday
last
night.
night. Yeah, it was crazy. The combination of spring break travelers, some severe weather kind of sweeping across parts of the Midwest and East, and of course this TSA situation. Every day more and more TSA workers are saying, you know what, I really can't afford to come to work without getting paid, and so they're not showing up. And I've heard some stuff in the media where people are a little critical, like, well, they're not showing up, they're going to get it resolved. I'm like, how many of us could go to work and not pay our bills? And so why, of course they have to go do other things like drive Ubers or go work grocery store overnight shifts, stocking shelves, because how are they supposed to do it without getting paid?
Yeah, travel would be strange in the best of weather these days. So this weekend had to be snarled. I saw Frank on Thursday at Channel 5, which still sounds weird for me to say, but we are teammates and down there, and he was traveling, and I was on the golf course, and they slew lost in such excruciating fashion. I'll talk more about this in opening dialogue, but I thought really for this, I was worried about the welfare of Frank, because he is as I have been this year. I went to 2 SLU games and really on board with SLU, but he's heavily invested in the Billikens. And not the weekend he was expecting to cover in Pittsburgh.
Right. All color had drained from his face, and that was it was tough. I'll be interested to hear your insights on that. It was sort of there were a lot of upsets this weekend. If you're a basketball fan and you were hedging your bets toward a lot of the favorites, you had a chance to, or if you were, I don't know what do you call that? Betting against the odds for the underdog. Would that be the correct term? You might have had a good weekend, but if you were going for the faves, it could have been challenging for you. This will surprise you, Steve, but I'm not a huge bettor. I'm not somebody who throws a lot of money down on the games on the weekends. So.
No, you always look down on it, as a matter of fact.
Well, I'm scared of what can happen, what would happen to my money if I got into it. So it's just probably naivety and unfounded fear on my part. But yeah, I'm not a big gambler. For sure. But we have a really fun show lined up for you today. We got Kate Bergstrom in our Success St. Louis style segment. She's the artistic director at the Rep, and things are happening there. Things are turning around. If you haven't paid attention or been to the Repertory Theater of St. Louis in a while, you're going to want to hear about the success they are having and kind of the resurgence of things that are happening there. Our favorite political scientist in the world, Anita Mannion, is going to join us because there is so much going on in the world of politics, and we always like her insights. And then Amy Fenster-Brown, of course, she's a hilarious columnist here in St. Louis, keeps track of all that kind of things happening in showbiz, and has a, shall we say, special friendship with Steve Savard, is coming in. She
you call her special.
Steve's a little scared. Let's just say Amy's a very big fan.
She's hilarious. I've known her for 20 years.
Yeah.
She's hilarious.
And she really thought it was the perfect time to come in knowing that you were going to be co-hosting today. So lots coming up on the Frank and Jill Show. Do not go away. We'll be right back.
Get your season tickets now for the 2026 Stages St. Louis. The 2026 season is kicked off with the always hilarious 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Then take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls. Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call today to reserve your group's individual or season tickets. 314-821-2407. Or visit them online at stagesstlouis.org. That's stagesstlouis.org.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
We are here with the man, Ryan Raphael. He's the Medicare man of St. Louis. Ryan, one of the biggest misconceptions about Medicare when people reach the age of 65 is if they don't sign up at age 65, they get penalized.
So really what happens is when people are approaching 65, they get all the literature and things coming at them that looks like they have to do something. If somebody is working, they really do not have to sign up for Medicare as long as they're part of an employer of 20 or more employees and they can take it out down the road and not pay penalties.
So if you're over the age of 65 and you have not signed up for Medicare, there's no penalty. There's no reason why you can't do it at age 65, 66, or 67, or 70. That is correct. Yep. That is Ryan Raphael. If you're approaching 65 and you have questions about Medicare, he is the man. The Medicare Man, STL.com, 314-368-6808, Ryan Raphael. And if you don't trust me, trust my nanny. My nanny says he's the best. Ryan Raphael, the Medicare Man, MedicareManSTL.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Hey, Anne Marie here, host of the Inside Out Show and owner of Anne Marie Design Studio for Black Fox Cooper, St. Louis's premier Andersen certified contractor. That means every window they install meets Andersen's exacting quality standards, and the installation is guaranteed for 2 years, in addition to the 20-year warranty on the glass. With over 20 years of experience and knowing our climate, Black Fox Cooper will install the optimal windows to keep your home comfortable and efficient year-round, and most projects are completed within a day or two with minimal disruption to your daily routine.
Call 314-270-1484 or online at blackboxcooper.com.
Thinking of buying a new home? Think TR Hughes. TR Hughes Homes has great prices on beautiful new homes at 4 desirable locations. Charlestown Landing in North St. Charles, convenient to Highway 370. The Grove at Riverdale and St. Paul with standard 4-car garages, just 10 minutes from the St. Peter's Deerbergs. Arbor Valley in Wentzville on Highway N with minimum half-acre wooded lots. And our newest community, Elkhorn Ridge in Truesdale, just west of Wright City, minutes from Highway 70. Come and see why TR Hughes is St. Charles and now Warren County's premier home builder. TRHughes.com.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newsletter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
Get your reservations in now for Bishop's Post. Bishop's Post. They have the best version of your classic favorites. Located in Chesterfield, Bishop's Post is the perfect spot for that celebration.
And now the opening dialogue with Frank and Jill on the Big 550 KTRS.
Powered by Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Welcome back. So glad you're with us on the Frank and Jill Show. Jill Farmer and Steve Savard sitting in to co-host today as Frank is on assignment this week, doing all things basketball. Connor's here as well. First thought today, some of you might have been like me last night, tuned kind of in and out of the Oscars. I was curious on a couple of the biggies, but wasn't overwhelmingly intrigued. But in case you missed it completely or weren't paying that much attention, here's a roundup of who the winners and losers were last night. How many of those have you seen?
One Battle After Another.
Yep, all three of us in here have seen that.
Yeah, Sean Penn was amazing in that.
Yep.
A lot of great acting. In other years, I'm not sure that would have been the Academy Award winner, but I'm not one of those guys. Who cares? It doesn't matter what my opinion is. I enjoyed the movie. It's not one of those ones I would watch over and over and over. I think I've seen it once, and I'll watch part of it again on TV, and now I'm probably done with it.
Yep, that makes a ton of sense. Stick around a little bit later in the show. If you missed Barbara Streisand, she doesn't sing much in public anymore, but she did at least a little bit, so you'll get to hear that. And then,
what'd you think?
I have seen some of them. I wasn't incredibly invested. The parts of the show that I watched were pretty good. Conan was decent. The parts that I was paying attention to, opening monologue was fun, and we'll hear a little bit from that later, so you guys can be the judge on how you think he did. I think he's a real solid host, and
I do too.
I felt good about him being
clever.
there, and I think he
there
delivered
are other guys
well.
that will probably make you fall down and hold your gut more than Conan, but he's got very clever humor, I think.
Tariq Khan, of course, who is an Academy Award expert and has worked in the entertainment industry, working now back in St. Louis at Channel 5, but still very entrenched in the whole process. He has access to a writers' forum that allows people to actually try to write some of the comedy for hosts like Conan O'Brien, where they'll actually take jokes from occasionally. So I'm very excited. He'll be on the show with us on Wednesday and let us know whether any of the jokes that he wrote actually got picked up. You don't get any credit or anything. It's just the press, other than the psychological reward of knowing that something that you thought was funny, another comedy writer thought was really good as well. So I'll be excited to hear if any of his jokes got picked up by Conan.
Well, I was a little worried about Frank's mental health this weekend with SLU losing in the semifinals of the A10 tournament. They had not had the best final month of the season, final 3 weeks. He was all invested. I was invested. I thought by late January the SLU Billikens would be a lock for the NCAA tournament. I wasn't so sure after the way the season finished, but I was so happy to see SLU get in. My late father, class of 1950, alongside Ed McCauley, he would always say, he would be thrilled if he were alive.
Mm-hmm.
So that turned out great. They're going to be in Chicago. That's great. You know the fans. You know they'll have as many fans as who can get tickets will be up there. And then to see Mizzou play in St. Louis as a 10 seed, you know, SLU got a 9 seed, Mizzou got a 10 seed. But they get to play Miami in St. Louis, which was – I saw somebody say, well, that's not fair. Columbia is only 20 minutes outside St. Louis. That person needs a little geography lesson. But it is going to be more or less more like a home game for SLU. I mean, for Mizzou. So I had to open the show with Frank being absent with a basketball note in the middle of March Madness. Good for SLU and very good for Mizzou fans right here in St. Louis.
Of course, since my Drake Bulldogs had a rebuilding year, we'll call it this year, and there was no chance that there was going to be any postseason play. All of my attention has gone to SLU, and so that's been...
Well, my guy, my former coach at my alma mater, Northwest Missouri State, was one and done there, but he did pretty well for you last year. Ben McCollum.
And he and his Iowa Hawkeyes
are a 10 seed or 9 seed in the NCAA
They did
tournament.
sneak into the tournament, even though they were pretty middle of the pack in the Big Ten for sure.
Easy Drake graduate. On those Iowa Hawkeyes, even though they snuck in.
Well, I'm a huge Hawkeye fan. Grew up my whole life, and one of my closest friends from Drake is the head coach of the women's team at Iowa. So definitely they're a number 2 seed. So I'm expecting great things. I'll be watching that and cheering loudly. I'm still just a little sore that Ben left us after 1 year. Switching gears completely. This is a really cool story that I don't think is getting the due nationally that it should, but it's just great news for people who have lost their sight due to accidents, thanks to modern medicine progressing. So, great article that I read in Wall Street Journal. A freak accident left Phil Durst suddenly blind, and this new cutting-edge science is giving him his sight back. He was working near an industrial dishwasher when a hose suddenly popped loose, blasting his face with a commercial detergent. Chemical burned the surface of the eyes and damaged his corneas, they thought, permanently. Every year, unfortunately, believe it or not, Steve, thousands of people lose their vision this way through injuries that destroy the cornea, which, of course, is that clear dome covering all of our eyes. In the weeks after the accident, and Mr. Durst that I talked about a second ago, he was lying in a dark room, unable to work or see. Now scientists are doing something that seemed impossible. They're restoring sight with an experimental stem cell therapy, which can regenerate the damaged corneal tissue, potentially giving patients like Durst a second chance at vision. The research still somewhat early, but so far it seems to be working in the experimental stages. And in the next 5 years, we could see some real progress on something that in this day and age still was leaving, again, thousands of people nationwide, mostly from industrial accidents, but sometimes home accidents, farm accidents as well, without their vision. And now they could at least, now are they going to have perfect 20/20 vision? Probably not, but to go from seeing nothing but dark to this is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I had the privilege of telling a World War II story in my Spotlight of Service feature I do weekly on KSDK. A couple weeks ago, 103-year-old Bob Schultz lives in O'Fallon, Illinois. Mm-hmm. Incredible story. 103 years old. He was a gunner on the USS California for 3 years in World War II fighting kamikazes. His ability to recall, his wit, is remarkable. And Bob's going to take his first Greater St. Louis Honor Flight on April 1st, which is going to be his 104th birthday. But it got me thinking, every once in a while I check about World War II veterans and how many are left here in this country. 16.4 million U.S. citizens served in World War II. Mm. There are an estimated 6,600 remaining. Median age is now 98. Unfortunately, an average of 30 pass daily across the country. And the estimates are by 2034 or 35, fewer than 1,000 will be still with us. According to stats in 2025, an estimated 900 are in Missouri. Mm-hmm. It was a global conflict. It was a conflict that required incredible valor for years, not just 1 year of tour. Some of these men served 2, 3, 4 years in combat. We should never, ever forget. I get a feeling that further we get away, we're 80-plus years away now from the end of it. We should never forget. We should honor every veteran we can. But World War II veterans, we should never forget. We should never stop teaching how the world came together to literally save the world from tyranny.
Beautifully said. And I think
I don't know about that, but
well, I think so I love what you're doing at Channel 5 to preserve these stories, because that's part of the record keeping as well. And I was talking to somebody else about you doing these great stories, and they pointed out they had somebody close to them in their life who was a Vietnam veteran. And for a long time, there was such division in our country and stigma. And the first time we really, really talked openly about things like PTSD and understood the sort of the costs of war. But they're pointing out that as the Vietnam veterans age too, we want to be able to remember and have them tell their stories of valor and of impact, and even the messy parts of coming back home and not being sure about that, that at least half the country appreciated what you had done for your country. And I thought that was a good point. Gosh, it's hard to believe, but we are 50 plus years past when those vets came back, and we don't want those stories to be lost as well. And it's just a very interesting point, and I'm glad that you're doing this for the historical record and just to remind all of us.
Well, I feel strongly about it, but one thing I do have to get back to something I misspoke earlier. The SLU is going to play in Buffalo in the first round, not Chicago.
I know.
Yeah,
we talked about that. That's
it's
what
Buffalo.
It was Buffalo. I thought so in the end. Yeah. Unfortunately, wish it was a little closer, but it's
they're
not.
in. Hey, they're in.
So I thought you might think this is a little bit interesting because you spent a few years down in southwestern Missouri, very near the tourism hotbed of Branson, and there's been some reporting in some of our statewide newspapers that there continues to be a bit of a tug of war between tourism dollars and neighborhood life. And it happens a lot of places that St. Louisans escape for the weekend. At Lake of the Ozarks, city like Osage Beach, are requiring permits, safety inspections, and occupancy limits for short-term rentals, right? Because you got the people that have the weekend houses or live there full-time. They're not always so thrilled with the Airbnb-type folks that come in for the weekend to party and don't have the same stakes in the neighborhood. So there's complaints of party houses, packed driveways. Some lakes divisions are rewriting their HOA rules to ban nightly rentals altogether. Same kind of conversation happening over in Grafton, where weekend visitors keep the restaurants, the wineries busy. Residents worry about noise, parking, whole streets turning into revolving door lodging. You hear about it in Herman. Wine country boom has pushed more homes onto the Airbnb market, raising questions about whether tourism is pricing out the locals who make the town feel authentic in the first place. It's kind of a classic Midwest balancing act. Visitors we depend on, right, because we do need these tourism dollars, right? And the outside companies that are buying up the houses for Airbnbs are creating some stimulus in the real estate market. So when we start getting real rule heavy, then we have to question what the economic balance is. And I don't pretend to have the answer on it, but I think it's interesting, right? I live in a neighborhood that for a long time really worked hard to try not to let people have Airbnbs, and because of parking and other issues. And finally it was a battle that just couldn't be won, and they've let it go. And I think everybody's kind of realized, well, occasionally there's a party that the police have to be called. That's not so fun. But generally speaking, it's not quite as bad as people feared before it got, before we had it.
Yeah, we still own a home in Springfield. Mm-hmm. We didn't sell it. It's being leased. Somebody could
are
make
you
me an offer.
Airbnb-ing it for
No, we're not
Airbnb-ing.
I'm not. Some of my neighbors were surprised that nobody raised an objection because it's a brand new neighborhood. Mm-hmm. It started 7 years ago. There's still a couple of lots left, mm-hmm. but it's largely built on. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people were surprised that we could even lease it out. But
mm-hmm.
We knew the people, it was not going to be an issue. But the Airbnb is a whole different animal. But the whole thing about Branson down there, and I discovered this living there, it's really almost become an unaffordable place mm-hmm. to vacation. If you want to go to Big Cedar, if you want to play golf at any of those locations, it is very, very expensive. And Johnny Morris has kind of done that, I think, by design. He's now catered to at least Big Cedar with the golf and the destination and what you pay for a room. He's kind of catered to the folks that can afford to fly in private jets into the Branson area. Mm-hmm. And then
it's not the people like me that are
going down I-44 and then driving past Springfield, or flying into Springfield and then driving down 65 to get to Branson.
Yes, a lot of their marketing goes to Dallas and the greater Dallas area as a destination getaway, sort of back to nature weekend at Big Cedar. I would have always thought, St. Louis, Kansas City would be a big drivers. And I'm sure, a lot of St. Louisans are.
Yeah, I hear from a lot of people when I was working down there. They were at Table Rock watching me.
But to your point, they've tapped into some deep pockets tourists in that part of the country.
And there's
still
some affordable places around Table Rock. Table Rock's a beautiful lake,
mm-hmm.
And it's a great situation. But if you want to play golf and you want to upscale, it's going to cost you big money
mm-hmm.
to have a vacation in Branson.
If you want to play skee ball or mini golf like I do, mm-hmm. that's still semi-affordable. So you're lucky. Good. Okay. Hey, you guys, we have a lot coming up in the show, including one of the new voices at the Rep in St. Louis, Success St. Louis style. You'll hear what the Rep is doing to be successful these days. Our favorite political scientist, Anita Mannion, a little later, and then one of the funniest people I know, Amy Fenster-Brown, is going to join us at the top of the 11 o'clock hour. First, though, our friends at Altair Travel and Cruises want you to know it is really a good year, whether you are wanting to plan way ahead. There's some good deals out there from tour companies, from some resorts. There are some good deals out there if you plan ahead far into the future, and there's some good deals in there if you're very, very flexible and are willing to do stuff last minute. But you just kind of have to have the conversation with the experts and the people who are tracking the deals out there. It's hard for just average folks like you and I to know when one particular cruise line is offering a special and none of the others are. And that's one of the things I love about Altair Travel and Cruises is many of their employees have specific areas of expertise. There's the Disney person, there's the Europe person, or different zones of Europe, different people. Of course, Caribbean, Mexico, all kinds of different places. The people have specialties, and they can. You get to benefit from their ability to just know and understand travel like pretty much no one else in St. Louis does. 314-968-9600, altairtravel.com.
And now, KTRS weather.
Winter hits back really hard today with much colder temperatures, strong winds, even a couple of pockets of snow this morning. We're stuck in the 20s all day. The high this afternoon at 29. Wind chills in the single digits early and then between 10 and 15 this afternoon. Layer up, gang. Winds gusting out of the northwest 40 to 45 miles per hour this morning, slowly coming down this afternoon. And yes, some light snow from time to time this morning. Minimal impact from the snow, but a slick spot or two can't be ruled out. Then we clear out tonight. It's a frigid start to St. Patty's Day. 15 for the morning low, mostly sunny tomorrow and still chilly at 36. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's time to dance. Tune into our NCAA Tournament Preview Show Wednesday night, March 18th at 7 o'clock. Presented by Royal Banks of Missouri, Woods Basement Systems, Lacey Lumber Company, and T.R. Hughes Homes. College basketball lives on the Big 550.
Are you ready for tax season? A new administration in Washington guarantees there are changes to the tax law coming. Don't let changes to the tax code catch you off guard. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours, and the soon-to-be-released book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill. For 50 years, our team has helped hundreds of area businesses get their financial plans in order, reduce their tax liability, and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax laws. To learn more, give us a call at 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
It's springtime, so make some spring cleaning and clear out some room for Dogtown. Dogtown Pizza, of course. Take those freezers and deep freezes and stock them full of Dogtown Pizza. With plenty of sports and warm weather action coming up, you'll want to make sure you always have an emergency pizza on hand. And with 12 different varieties, you're going to need to make plenty of room. Bacon, 4 meat, and the veggie. Clean out those freezers to make plenty of room for all the Dogtown varieties. And to see a full list, check out dogtownpizza.com.
March Madness is here. Don't let getting hurt in a crash or on the job drive you to madness. Call Brown & Brown for a free consultation. 314-333-3333. That's 314 all threes. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based solely upon advertisement.
Baseball is a story told across generations, through the players, the moments, and the gloves that shape the game. Now, that story comes to life in Rawlings, the finest in the field book, available now on Rawlings.com. Each of the featured 50 gloves is presented through the detailed photography and paired with essays that place the artifact within its historical context. And additional memorabilia further illuminate the era each glove represents. Reserve your copy today on Rawlings.com and be among the first to experience baseball's evolution as told through the story of these iconic gloves.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer to who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon and then Payne from Tractor back put in another 72 hours. His son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.
This salute to all farmers is proudly brought to you by Farm Credit Illinois and the Big 550 KTRS.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Spring is in the air, my favorite time of the year. I'm buying and selling, of course, cars and motorcycles daily. I like to buy a few cars a day at this time of year, and I like to buy them directly from the owner. We carry only hand-selected vehicles, and I like to meet the people they come from. It's as much a people business as it is a car business. If you're in the St. Louis metro area, I'll even come to your house to purchase your vehicle, especially if you have more than one to sell or even an entire collection. We're always on the hunt for super clean, rare, and unique vehicles. I'll even buy everyday cars if they have low miles and are exceptionally clean. Hop on my site, mastercarsinc.com, and submit what you've got to sell. We buy, sell, and trade every single day.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Amioki Road in Granite City, or visit mastercarsinc.com to get more details. That's mastercarsinc.com.
And now it's time for Success St. Louis Style, brought to you by the St. Louis Chess Club, building champions in the classroom and the community. Online at stlouischessclub.org.
Welcome back to the Frank and Jill Show on a Monday. We love having you with us to start the week, and it is a great week to start when we get to talk Success St. Louis Style. Jill Farmer here. Steve Sabard sitting in for Frank today, who's out on assignment. Connor McCarthy here holding down the fort as well. Kate Bergstrom, the Repertory Theater of St. Louis, has been lucky enough to have her in-house now as the, is it Augustin? Augustin, thank you. I knew I was going to get my syllables wrong on that. Family artistic director, and she is a theater director, and she's also one of the most dynamic people you will ever meet. And a lot of us remember back in the day, of course, Steve Wolf, one of the most familiar faces in St. Louis, the face of the Rep. And then generations have kind of revolved in and out. Things were changing at the Rep, and you have been part of a resurgence. So many St. Louisans are back to having the Rep be part of their lifestyle here in St. Louis, being regulars again. If you guys have questions or comments for Kate on the Royal Banks of Missouri text line 84126, we want to hear from you. Kate, thanks for being here today. You've been very successful in theater on both coasts, California, been in New York on the East Coast. What drew you to St. Louis, and how are you liking it?
What a wonderful question, Jill, particularly because St. Louis has been so welcoming to my family and I. And this marks my 19-month anniversary here. But so far, we've deeply enjoyed living 2 minutes away from Clementine's, right in your neighborhood, one of my favorite St. Louis haunts. And we've loved the amount of accessible arts, culture, sports, and family gathering places that are here in St. Louis. That's one of the things that particularly drew us here, especially since my son was born. And I thought, well, we need to have a great community for him to thrive in. St. Louis has been nothing but that.
From a job standpoint, though, as artistic director, what kind of challenges and or benefits are there operating in a not a big city, a big little city is what we like to think of as native St. Louis, but in the heart of the Midwest in St. Louis? What are some of the challenges and or benefits?
No, I love this idea of challenges and benefits because I think one of the biggest benefits or opportunities here is that we're really at the heart of the United States, right? We're at this wonderful crossroads artistically of what's happening on the East, what's happening on the West, North, South, and we're able to sort of take the best and brightest pieces from every coast, every walk of life, and say, what's relevant here to St. Louis? What's going to excite people? What's going to bring them in and invigorate their spirit in different ways? I think that this is really the litmus test for the longevity of pieces for many years to come. One of the biggest challenges is making sure to create a theater that is relevant, excellent, and creates extraordinary experiences so that St. Louisans feel not only welcome, but that it's something they should be proud of, something that they should enjoy regularly, like the Muni, like going to see the Cardinals, that this is really the Repertory Theater of St. Louis.
You want repeat business. You want repeat customers. That's what makes your business thrive.
Absolutely. We love our subscribers. We love our FlexPass subscribers, folks who want to come see everything, folks who want to see a large smattering of different offers in our Steve Wolf Studio series, which is this wonderful adventurous space, and upstairs, which is our main stage theater, which is both large but also very intimate, right, Steve? We've got this thrust space, which means that you are no further than 20 rows away from an actor at any time. Broadway actors, some of the St. Louis's finest actors, actor-musicians, actor-dancers, and performers. These folks are the creme de la creme, and you're seeing them sometimes on the up and up and sometimes later in their career.
So is it hard to recruit actors and talent to come to St. Louis? Because, we think of it as wanting to be, of course, on the Great White Way when it comes to stage acting and performing, or, to be on film or on some kind of streaming show in Hollywood. Is it hard to attract talent here?
Well, attracting talent, I think, is part of two things. One, making sure that we build a welcoming and exciting space for that talent when they come here, where they can thrive holistically, where they can put their best self forward, but also challenge themselves. Perhaps to do something they haven't done in a way without the pressures of some of the commercial aspects of those two coasts in the same vein. Two, I would say the building of community and the sense of welcome that they receive here is so beautiful. And I like to uplift St. Louis locals, born, raised, or grown in the schools here, from our partners at Webster University to SLU to Wash U. We've got great talent all over St. Louis that's Broadway level, that's starring in these wonderful shows all over the country, who really have found artistic homes here at the Rep that I hope will stick around.
All right, you're coming up on 2 years, as you mentioned, as the artistic director. If you look back, and I know your goal is to deliver a quality show and a quality performance every night, but if you look back and you go, is there a show or is there a performance that stood out and you think, gosh, I wish all of our subscribers could have seen this and I hope they were here tonight?
Oh, how fun. I love this question because...
Is it like choosing a favorite child?
It's totally like choosing a favorite child, because you're like, you will get me in trouble.
We won't tell the other children. We won't tell the other children.
I love it. Well, I think about coming up on 2 years, and every show that I'm looking to program, that we as the Rep are looking to program for years to come, I hope is an elevation of the last, or something that inspired us from the last. So I would say one thing that stands out in my memory when I first came here, but right before becoming artistic director, I directed It's a Wonderful Life, the radio play, with an all St. Louis cast.
It was fun. I got to see that. It was really good.
Thank you so much, Jill. And I'd say that the experience of doing live Foley and having the show come to life in that unique way really made a case for why theater is so special as a family experience in the holiday season. And I hope to recreate things like that in the future. So that stands out for me artistically. But I would also say, to be honest with you, that each show has something really special about it. I think about this Enigmatist that we've got right now that is sold out until April. That is going to wow someone. That's going to make someone go away and go, I didn't even realize how much that buoyed me, or how much that made me think or feel, or electrified me, or brought me into a new conversation with a family or friend member.
And actually, Lynn Van House, who is very beloved by our listeners and by all of us on the show, because every Friday she tells us what to watch over the weekend as a fabulous entertainment critic. And she texted me and said, you must go see The Enigmatist. I don't have tickets for that yet, but I'm going to have to, try to get one of those sold out tickets somehow. But I will say I do have tickets for Ring of Fire, which is the show that you're directing. It has a little something to do with Johnny Cash. Heard of him?
Oh, yeah.
So talk about that show as well. It looks really cool.
Well, I'm so excited that you mentioned Ring of Fire, because we are in the thick of it. We're in tech right now, which is BTS, the opportunity that we get to light, sound, magnify these actor performers creations of these characters in big ways. This show is really a live, emotional, high energy concert of the best of Johnny Cash, but it's telling the story of sort of what he might, in the moments before passing, have looked back on and felt through his music for the past 20 years. It's all told through song, almost like an opera. It is from country boy, his roots in Arkansas, all the way through to Folsom Prison Blues, from his romance kindling with June Carter and this moment of Ring of Fire and Walk the Line, to finally this moment where he hears the train a coming, and it's his last chance to say, "This is why I always dress in black, and this is what I'm leaving this world." So it's pretty beautiful. It's pretty special. And I've got 6 actor musicians who are playing everything from guitar to stand-up bass to mandolin to auto harp to et cetera, who literally have starred in operas, in musicals across the country, on Broadway. They're bringing it and challenging each other to do incredible work every day. And they love the story of this American icon, coming into their fold in a new way, too.
Very, very cool.
Well, if Johnny Cash did have time to reflect before he left this world on his life, it was certainly a lot to think about because it was anything but a storybook.
It was a complicated
It was
existence.
a very complicated existence. But man, the man was so. And unfortunately, I didn't become a huge fan until much later in my life. But now, anytime Johnny Cash comes on, I listen, especially Ring of Fire or Folsom Blues.
Totally. I'm right there with you because I also didn't become a fan until later in life. And then looking back and saying, here's a man who, he made mistakes, but he reckoned with them. He didn't hide from his mistakes. Here's a man who experienced hardship, but he didn't let it sink him. He pulled himself out of the pit, and others helped pull him out of the pit.
But he had a great later in life partner that probably saved him. And he would have said many times, saved him from...
He sure did, and he says that many times. And also his former partner, his first wife, Vivian, was really a force to be reckoned with herself, who raised their family. I would say that the story of Johnny Cash is not unlike the story of our country through those decades, and that his music and really his use of music to tell stories from America and on the American South was incredibly powerful and will probably resonate with us all as we look back at those decades of our lives.
Kate Bergstrom, the Repertory Theater of St. Louis Artistic Director. If somebody's listening to this going, it's been a minute since I've been to the Rep, I'm excited about this now. I'd like to get myself some tickets or check it out. How do they do that?
So go to repstl.org and get tickets right there online, or call our box office. They will help you every step of the way. And I will secretly share on this show, if you're listening, use my code KATE10 for 10% off tickets to Ring of Fire anytime, so that you can get in and re-experience the Rep. If you haven't been back, you got to come be a part of this renaissance. It's going to be really special to see people pack the house downstairs and upstairs in this last moment. And we get to announce our next season on March 24th, which is our 60th anniversary season. And I go, 60 never looked better, right? A diamond is forever. We've got this wonderful anniversary coming up where we can say not only have we had an extraordinary 60 years, but we are revving to kick the next 60 years into gear powerfully.
Really good stuff. Thanks for being such a great ambassador for something that's so been important to our city. And COVID and other things were hitting it hard through those years. So to know that it's getting more successful and bringing more great shows to St. Louis all the time is warms our hearts. We have a lot more great stuff coming up on the Frank and Jill Show with Steve Savard today. So don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
It's the Retire in Style sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress, going on now through March 17th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We're celebrating my dad, Linwood Miller's 50 years at the helm of Miller Furniture. He's the one who traveled across the country connecting Miller Furniture with dozens of Amish craftsmen. Now you can finish every room in the house with quality Amish-made furniture in today's updated styles.
Right now, save up to $2,000 on Amish-made furniture, Smith Brothers, and more.
For a limited time, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of any premium Chatham & Wells mattress. Queen adjustable sets start at just $19.99.
Visit any of our 4 showrooms in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville, and save during our Retire in Style sale. See and feel the American-made difference.
Retire in style, just like Linwood Miller, and save up to $2,000 now through March 17th. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Managing attorney of Milton Law Group, STL tax lawyer Mark Milton is widely recognized as one of the top tax resolution attorneys in the country. Mark and his team provide trusted legal representation to troubled taxpayers, specializing in tax debt resolution, tax audit defense, and unfiled tax returns. For a local solution to your IRS problems, contact STL Tax Lawyer Mark Milton by visiting stltaxlawyer.com.
Choice of a lawyer's an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You know, that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the Talk of St. Louis.
Tune in to the Big Sports Show with Greg and Weesey every Thursday night at 8:02 for the Illini Report. Powered by Woods Basement Systems.
For up-to-date info on the Illinois men's basketball team.
On the Big 550 KTRS. Looking for a great local restaurant recommendation?
Feed me Seymour.
Tune in to the Kuno Food Service weekly special during the Frank and Jill Show. Thursdays at 11.
Hear from the best of the best restaurant owners in town.
Only on the Frank and Jill Show. Thursdays at 11. Presented by Kuno Food Service. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS. The Talk of St. Louis.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
The Bommarito Automotive Group is Missouri's #1 automotive group. They've sold over 1 million vehicles by giving you a better price, a better selection, and more for your trade. You can shop them online, see their entire inventory online at bommarito.com.
That was a dynamic interview that even if you weren't a huge theater person, kind of makes you want to go to the theater, doesn't it?
I want to go see Ring of Fire. I had no idea. I'm definitely going to look it up and go.
We're looking forward to it. And that's the thing I think that's been true about the rep all along is the performances and everything's been great. It was just getting a new generation of people to recognize that it's just a really fun thing to change the channel on your brain and go do live theater where it's one of my favorite things about the rep is the fact that you got a good seat pretty much wherever you are. You're going to be able to really connect with what the actors are doing on stage.
Yeah, I'd rather be in one of those. One of the greatest concerts I ever saw was Eddie Money here in the mid-'80s over here at the Westport Playhouse. We were in the 4th row, I think. And, I'd much prefer a smaller audience for enjoyment purposes.
Yes, Heidi and I talk about that we both like music, but then we don't want to be watching the entire concert on the screen where the lips aren't quite matching up with what's happening on the stage.
Yeah.
A lot of people just want to be there for the experience of knowing they saw them, quote, in person.
And I understand.
And I am cheap, so I'm never going to pay what you would have to pay to really get down in the front rows to see that experience. And so generally speaking, I tend to try to choose the opportunities where
And
you
the
get to
rep
be a
is
little
more
closer.
affordable than you would find at other places.
Yes, much more affordable than the musicians that I want to see in the first 10 rows. I don't know that I'll ever have that experience. Oh, I did once, thanks to my friend Glenn Zimmerman. And that's because we went to see John Fogerty. He had just settled the lawsuit where he got the entire CCR book.
Oh.
So we were going to sit in the lawn seats at, that what I still call Riverport, whatever, never get the name right. And we walk in, we bump into my old buddy Glenn, who had been Fox 2 was sponsoring the show. He did the first part of it, and he said, I would love nothing more, because he's a big music guy. He sang in a couple bands. And he said, I would love nothing more than to stay for this concert, but I have to wake up at 2:30 tomorrow morning, and it's been a rough week. But he said, but they just handed me these fourth row seats. Do you guys want them? We're like, yes, we do. And I have to tell you,
he put on a show?
He put on a show, and ever since then, it's been like, yeah, I really want to be there again.
Well, that catalog of music is between himself and mostly in a lot of CCR. But what he did on his own after CCR too, we saw Sammy Hagar, who of course has this great affinity for St. Louis and vice versa. I mean, he thinks St. Louis really launched him, and he was unbelievable over there. I mean, I've always heard he put on a great show, but Sammy put on a dynamic show.
I can't drive 55. How come you think St. Louis launched him?
I don't know the true history, but I think it has to do with K-Shi and way back in the day when he was really getting going. And I don't know if it was Montrose or after Montrose, but he just bonded with St. Louis, and it was one of his favorite places of all time to come and have a concert. And from what I understand, anytime he's ever had a tour, St. Louis is always included. And,
Love it.
And there's just this great affinity between Sammy Hagar and St. Louis.
He likes it a little better than Axl Rose. He has fonder feelings about our city.
I think he had a better experience at Axl. I don't know if Axl remembers, though, or did remember.
Well, yeah, he had to clear his brain up for some of those depositions, I think. Very fun show so far. Steve Savard, thanks for being here. Second hour of the Frank and Jill Show coming up right after the news. Do not go away.
The St. Louis Chess Club is a newly expanded 30,000 square foot state-of-the-art chess center featuring world-class tournament playing halls, classrooms, library, and casual play spaces for everyone who loves the game.
But it's so much more than a place to play.
It's where champions are built on the board, in the classroom, and across the community with a mission to bring the game to everyone from all levels, with membership starting at just $15 a month.
Discover the excitement, the challenge, and the community of chess at stlouischessclub.org.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Traffic reports when you need them. This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Streaming live at KTRS.com.
Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. A barrel of West Texas crude just got $5 cheaper after hitting $100 this morning. And a $1 move in oil typically changes gas prices by 2 or 3 cents. Moving the price lower, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just now telling CNBC that the U.S. will let Iranian tankers pass through the Strait of Hormuz. And the Wall Street Journal reporting that the U.S. will announce a coalition of countries to escort ships. For now, though, Europe allies want more clarity before sending troops. The U.S. role? 2 officials telling ABC News the Pentagon is deploying 2,200 Marines to the region on board 3 Navy ships. We asked President Trump's press secretary about that.
Look, I'm not going to get ahead of him on any options that may be on the table for the president.
Caroline Levitt. Air travelers are being hit with a double whammy today. Cancellations from weather in the east and long lines due to TSA sickouts.
In an open letter to Congress, the CEOs at American, Southwest, United, and other passenger and cargo carriers are calling on lawmakers to come together to fund the Transportation Security Administration. Air travelers agree.
I think it's just outrageous that our TSA workers aren't being paid.
Brendan Daniels was standing in the airport security line at Salt Lake City.
I think that Congress shouldn't get paid.
In Austin, the TSA line stretches outside the terminal as a record number of passengers fly out today. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
The Southwest is sizzling so soon in the season. ABC's Alex Stone in a very hot Los Angeles.
This week, temperatures are expected to break records and could top above 100 degrees in areas around L.A. and 110 or more in the desert, like in Palm Springs. As the heat is moving in, Mayor Karen Bass is opening up cooling centers for those who don't have air conditioning or can't afford to run it, where they can go to stay safe. Warnings are up for people to check on seniors and those who could be impacted by the extreme heat.
Wall Street, the major indices up now about 1% or more. You're listening to ABC News.
Out here, the bright lights show you who's ready and who's just talking. AT&T's been steady in the pocket since 1876. Take T-Mobile. They talk a big game about price locks, then get smacked for deceptive ads. 150 years of playing it straight tends to show. AT&T. When you compare, there's no comparison.
Based on Rootmetrics United States Root Score Report 1H 2025. Tested with best commercially available smartphones on 3 national mobile networks across all available network types. Your experiences may vary. Rootmetrics rankings are not an endorsement of AT&T. Based on advertising challenges of wireless and home internet providers filed from 2022 to 2025.
Hi, everybody. McGraw Millhaven here for family-owned and family-operated Lisi Lumber since 1872. Lisi Lumber is now producing and delivering custom kits for pre-assembled trestles, pavilions, and pergolas made to your specifications. Union-made, union-delivered, homeowners and do-it-yourselfers, you're going to love this. Got an idea? Send them a sketch and some dimensions, and they'll do the rest. For the best woods and pre-assembled hardscapes, call Lisi Lumber at 618-234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerix, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. As yesterday's severe weather rolled across eastern Missouri, the Lincoln County Emergency Management Agency is acknowledging that some of their warning sirens did not go off. In a Facebook post, they say sirens in Troy, Winfield, and Moscow Mills did not sound, while the ones in Hawk Point and Ellsbury did. Lincoln County EMA and 911 dispatch are reviewing system logs to determine what went wrong. Additional siren testing will occur in the coming days. The city of St. Louis has stepped up its winter operations with the drastic drop in temperatures. Walk-in shelters are available at the following locations: Biddle Housing Opportunities, the Sydney Shelter, and Centenary United Methodist Church. Anyone in need of a shelter or transportation to a shelter should call the United Way at 211. The forecast in a few minutes. Homicide detectives with the Belleville Police Department are investigating after 2 men were found dead. Yesterday, officers responded to a disturbance call at a home in the 200 block of Union Avenue. Police discovered a man with a stab wound. 69-year-old Arthur Hurd was pronounced dead at the scene. A short time later, a person of interest was taken into custody in St. Louis City. That individual is being held in St. Louis as the investigation continues. Then, at around 4 in the afternoon, Belleville police reported to a shooting at the Qdoba in the 5800 block of Belleville Crossing. Officers found 20-year-old Montavian Conrad suffering from a gunshot wound. Conrad was transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. 2 suspects were arrested after a brief police chase that ended in a crash in the 6600 block of Old St. Louis Road. Illinois municipal leaders, along with Illinois House Republicans, are calling on state lawmakers to increase the amount of income tax revenue that is distributed to local governments. State Representative Kyle Moore is co-sponsoring legislation to fully fund the local government distributive fund.
The state of Illinois has been balancing its budget on the backs of cities and counties really since 2011, making it more difficult to fund basic services in all of our communities across Illinois. And every dollar that Springfield keeps and doesn't send to our cities and counties increases the tax burden of all of our municipalities and local taxing bodies. HB 4294 restores funding to our cities and counties in a fiscally responsible way.
The local government distributive fund supports essential local services such as emergency response, public works, and public safety. More information has been announced about centennial celebrations being held for Route 66, including the opening of an exhibition in St. Louis. Details from KTRS's Steve Potter.
Often referred to as the Mother Road, Route 66 stretches approximately 2,448 miles from Chicago to Los Angeles, passing through St. Louis, and is one of the most famous highways in the world. In Missouri, and particularly in the St. Louis area, it played an essential role as a gateway for travelers headed west. This year, many towns along Route 66 are planning parades, festivals, and other special events. A special exhibition that opened on Saturday at St. Louis's National Museum of Transportation, Roads, River, Rooms, and Reels, explores the stories, the memories, and modes of travel that shaped the iconic highway and the communities along the way. And the Illinois Department of Transportation has just released a new roadmap that takes a nostalgic look at the highway and its cultural impact. The United States Postal Service is creating a series of stamps to honor the road, and there are ongoing efforts to restore historic properties along the highway. A national kickoff of the Route 66 Centennial is scheduled for April 30th. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minutes is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Breakthrough Beverage Missouri and Jameson Irish Whiskey are partnering to offer Missourians a limited number of free rides home for St. Patrick's Day festivities. The rides are offered through the Safe Home After Every Occasion Social Responsibility Program. The rides provided by Lyft will be offered from 10 tomorrow morning until 12 Wednesday morning. A code for the free rides is posted on Breakthrough Beverage Missouri's website and social media channels, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And now this look at the markets is brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings 9 to 11. Wall Street right now, Dow Jones up 351 points to 46,909. NASDAQ down now 200 points to 22,105. S&P 500 up 63 points to 6,695. KTRS Sports, Mizzou is a 10 seed in the NCAA tournament and will play the Miami Hurricanes at Enterprise Center in the final game Friday night. Right here in St. Louis, the Tigers are one of only two teams that get to play their first-round game in their home state. And after some tense moments, SLU basketball made the big dance in spite of a heartbreaking loss in the A-10 tournament. The Billikens received a 9 seed and will play the Georgia Bulldogs in Buffalo on Thursday night. Meantime, the Illinois Fighting Illini are a 3 seed and will take on the champions of the Ivy League, the University of Pennsylvania, earlier that night. KTRS weather, today partly cloudy, windy, high of 31. Tonight, cloudy with an overnight low of 15. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, high of 37. Right now, a chilly 23 degrees at 11:09. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Welcome back to the Frank and Jill Show on a Monday morning. Jill Farmer, Steve Savard sitting in for Frank, who's out on assignment. Connor McCarthy here as well, looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, even though he was in Chicago celebrating St. Patrick's Day early. How green was the river this year, Connor?
It was pretty green. Looked pretty green.
It's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I'm not sure it's the best environmental thing in the world or whatever, but if you have never seen it before, it is something to behold. We always love having conversations with our favorite political scientist, Anita Mannion from UMSL. Even though sometimes politics are one of those things that bring us down, you always give us such a fresh perspective and balanced insights in what's happening in the world of politics. Anita, my first question for you is, there was a lot of national attention on this Georgia election to fill Marjorie Taylor Greene's spot. Did it end up being any kind of a bellwether for what we might see in those midterm elections later in 2026? Or what's your assessment of what happened there so far?
Hi, Jill. Great to talk to you. And yes, it's an interesting situation because Marjorie Taylor Greene has been one of President Trump's most ardent supporters, even wore her MAGA gear to the State of the Union and, got her hand slapped for that. But she had a falling out with President Trump and stepped down from that seat. So we saw a special election Now, this is a seat that was drawn to be reliably Republican after the 2010 census. And in the last cycle in 2024, Marjorie Taylor Greene won about 2/3 of the vote, and the Democrat won about 1/3. So it is a pretty solidly Republican seat. But in this special election, the Democrat did come ahead, but that's largely because there were so many Republicans running, they split the vote. So we're going to see a runoff between the Republican and the Democrat coming up here next month. It's possible that the Democrat could win. Think special elections, you don't have as much turnout. There is some backlash against President Trump right now. But I think if that did win, that would be a big upset and a surprise win for the Democrats.
Anita, Steve Savard here. Good morning.
Hi, Steve.
Hi. I'm filling in for Frank today. The Strait of Hormuz and it being closed to most international traffic and the effect on oil prices is making all the headlines. It certainly drew the attention of the president. Last night on Truth Social, he ranted a few times and even to one point demanding that other countries, other allies, help open the Strait of Hormuz. So far, France, Germany, Australia, UK, all a hard no. Japan says we'll consider, but not now. That's not the news that he was looking for. He has been warned by oil CEOs that if crude goes to above the $100 mark a barrel as it is now to $120, it could create economic, and I'm quoting, economic destruction for the global economy. This has to be consuming the administration at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you. And at a time where, many in the administration are really encouraging President Trump to focus on affordability ahead of the midterm elections, this certainly seems like a distraction that's dividing Republicans and other voters, and also, is raising prices instead of lowering them. So we've seen prices at the pump go up about 70 cents a gallon just in the last month. And as you said, we don't know what's going to happen with the Strait of Hormuz. Certainly, our allies, we didn't get them on board prior to the attack like we typically do, and they seem pretty hesitant to get drawn into this. So for those reasons, this conflict is not very popular among the American people. When you look at public support for military intervention going back to World War II, in the early days, so far, this has the least public support of any of those interventions.
So do you think that is going to end up being a factor that hurts Republicans in those midterm elections?
Well, I think right now it's very unpopular, particularly among young voters. Even young Republicans are much more disapproving than older Republicans. And I think the big question is this, as President Trump has asserted, a 5-week intervention and we're going to pull out and people, gas prices go back to normal and people forget about it by November? Or is this going to be an ongoing issue? Iran is not known for letting things go, right? And we've seen the impact on all kinds of countries in the region. So if it continues to go on, gas prices continue to stay high, and fuel prices affect not just the cost of the pump, but the cost of anything that's shipped to you. So basically all the things we buy, airline tickets. And so if that continues, I do think it will have a negative effect on the Republicans.
When you're looking at polling or listening to what members of Congress are saying about it, is it still too soon to tell what the political fallout will be from the Epstein files as well, or are we starting to get a sense of how that's impacting our political landscape?
Yeah, it's interesting that this issue maintains, its attention throughout military intervention, throughout other things, and the current, I think, controversy that was really big before the strikes in Iran, and I think will resurface, is the issue that a number of files that mentioned President Trump's were withheld or removed from that last public release. And so that's kind of the issue that's being fought right now. We haven't seen the sort of fallout here in the United States that we have seen in other countries, with people losing their jobs or having, legal repercussions. But we did just see the Clintons testify. Secretary Lednick is supposed to testify. So I don't think that this issue is over. And in some ways, the more they drag it out, the more that negative effect continues. So, just getting all the files out and getting it over, having the hearings now, I think, way ahead of the midterms would be a better strategy, it seems to me.
Anita, as we know, the president's base, his base of support is hardcore, but the people that I have noticed that are peeling away decisively or moderately from the president here, people on the fringe of support, cite two things. Number one, the war in Iran, more war. He ran on America first and not getting into wars. And also the Epstein files. And I think there are generally, look, that created the rift between himself and Marjorie Taylor Greene, which we thought 6 or 8 months ago would be unspeakable. That bond would never be broken. So those are the two issues that seem to be on the table for some who right now are expressing disappointment in this administration.
I think that's right. I think, like I said, the other issue will be the economy and affordability, which the Iran war plays into. But I think that's right. We've seen not only Marjorie Taylor Greene, but folks like Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson, who really helped President Trump get his message out and also capture a higher percentage of young voters. We're seeing a lot of disillusionment there, where the commentators are saying, I don't understand what's happening, particularly with the Epstein files and the Iran, which seem to be choices that the administration is making, where you might say the economy in some ways is outside of a president's control. And so I think there is a lot of disillusionment and, just confusion about why this is happening and sort of breaking the trust that those folks had in the administration.
We've talked on this show with you before, Anita Mannion, political scientist from UMSL, about on the local front, the race for county executive. I was a little surprised when Sam Page, the outgoing county executive last week, hit on a very big political hot button issue in our area, which is the talk of potentially merging at least some city and county services and potentially having St. Louis City become part of St. Louis County. Were you surprised to hear him come out somewhat definitively as in support of this because it has been kind of political kryptonite for people in that office in the past? And do you think it means something's going to be changing as we're moving toward new people in that office? What are your thoughts on it?
I think that things kind of have quieted about that since the whole Board of Freeholders, situation and everything, the push that happened maybe 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. But there seems to be a renewed push. Kara Spencer also discussed this a little bit, and, those would be the big players, the county executive and the mayor. I think that there are some of these groups that are out to sort of like renew St. Louis, and so this initiative is sort of going to the top of their priorities again. So it will be interesting to see what a newish mayor in Kara Spencer and a new county executive might think about this. One of the things that kind of put a stall on it last time was this idea that it would be a statewide vote, and whatever the statewide vote would carry without just a specific vote from St. Louis City and County. So I think that's still a hurdle to overcome. And getting the county to buy into the idea that this makes the whole region stronger and it's not sort of the city bringing the county down. I think there's a lot in the county with that perspective. So I think there's a long way to go, but it does certainly seem to be a conversation that's being renewed.
Professor Anita Mannion, political scientist from UMSL. Always love having you on the show. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us today.
It's my pleasure. Good talking with you.
We'll be right back after this.
Truck drivers, your comfort matters. And at Schneider, we're here to make every mile better. Drivers at Schneider use newer, more reliable equipment that's spec'd with safety features and amenities that keep them comfortable any time of year. Plus, while you're out on the road, Schneider's nationwide facility network offers secure parking and the comfort of a home away from home to make your life easier. Upgrade to a better driving job with better equipment. Find jobs near you and apply at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Can I get serious for a moment? Something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is my front yard and taking care of your front yard. Because when you drive by someone's house and it's full of weeds, you think to yourself, oh man, it's very, very simple. You know how much I love to pretend to be a yard dork. You know what I use? Fertilome. I go to fertilome.com and I type in my zip code, and a whole host of local independent lawn and garden dealers show up. I buy the crabgrass preventer plus lawn food. It's the spring application. I get it down on my yard as soon as possible, and that greens up my yard and keeps the weeds away. So it makes me look like I know what I'm doing. But really, all I'm doing is getting Fertilome and putting it on my front yard. And that will take care of my yard for many, many, many weeks, and it go a long way to having the greenest yard in the block. So this spring, you want to green up your yard and get rid of the weeds? It all starts at Fertilome or Fertilome.com.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for The Only Facial. I was driving around the other night, and I was so excited when I saw another The Only Facial logo in Creve Coeur. That's their newest location. Now, The Only Facial, you might have heard about it. Every single treatment includes 11 different steps. It's one price, $125, and that includes your gratuity. But for that, you're going to get dermaplaning, you're going to get an enzyme peel, therapeutic massage, extractions, LED light therapy, a treatment mask, hydration. I mean, it just goes on and on. All 11 steps, every facial, and they have several locations. Like I said, the Creve Coeur one is the newest. But here we go. De Pere, Sunset Hills, St. Charles, U City, Clayton. You will love this. I'm telling you, it's the best thing going in St. Louis, and now there's one near you. And if you're always struggling to find the perfect gift, we have the solution for you. 3 ways to shop for a gift card. You can order online and pick it up at The Only Facial, visit a store, or you can send your gift online. All happening at theonlyfacial.com. The Only Facial. Go to theonlyfacial.com for more, and you'll be on your way to better skin with a healthy glow.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
It's time to dance. Tune in to our NCAA Tournament Preview Show, Wednesday, March 18th at 7 o'clock. It's presented by Royal Banks of Missouri, T.R. Hughes Homes, and Lacey Lumber Company. College basketball lives on the Big 550.
We hear so much about quality time, but it's the quantity of time that we want. Every member of the family gets enlisted in so many activities. As quality time usurps quantity, there is so little time to enjoy the freedoms that make America the envy of the world. If we could only unplug, disengage, and spend quality time together, well, we can, in an RV. Escape into a whole new world in a Byerly RV.
Byerly RV.
Wherever you go, you're always at home in a Byerly RV.
Want a song?
Surround my mind like a song on the radio.
Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Frank and Jill Show on a Monday morning. Some of you may have enjoyed the Oscars last night. Many of us probably did not at least sit down from beginning to end, or we have so many options to see the highlights now. I think some of the motivation to watch it in real time has been lost a bit. But a moment that was much anticipated, Steve Savard, for many people, was the fact that Barbra Streisand, who has great stage fright and doesn't often get up in front of large audiences anymore, felt a connection, a deep enough connection to Robert Redford that she said, I want to do something at the Oscars. Nobody was quite sure what. And she did sing. She didn't sing an entire song, but let's listen for the song of the day. We're going to listen to the version that she did at the Oscar last night, and then we'll compare it to the original of this song as well. So that was last night. She said some words and then she did the end of the song. And this is the original, which many of us are very familiar with as well. I mean, that's just one of the voice for the ages. She's 83 now, and I thought she did a great job, and it sounded very, very good. And that the original from the movie with Robert Redford was from 1973. She was 31 years old. Filmed during that was recorded during the movie, which was released all the way back in 1973. Hard to imagine it.
Well, as soon as you announced Barbra Streisand, and it was the song of the day, I had to look it up. 83. I was wondering. That is remarkable. What's amazing to me, though, is somebody as accomplished as Barbra Streisand suffers still all these from performance anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And she had it before this. And Carly Simon had the same thing. I read about Carly Simon. I was a big Carly Simon fan back in the day. I probably appreciated her more as I got older. But she also suffered a little bit of that. In fact, she kicked off her career. She performed with her sister a lot, and that helped her get through some of her performance anxiety. But when she went into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a few years ago, she did not perform. Usually, all the inductees come back and do something and perform. She didn't. She offered a satellite tribute or something. But it's just funny that somebody that accomplished still, and it makes us feel better when I got to MC a charity basketball game in a couple of weeks, and it always makes me nervous to try to be, entertaining and all that. I'm glad I'm in good company of Barbra Streisand and Carly Simon have performance anxiety once in a while.
Well, and it's ironic, right? Because the amount of talent you have and the amount of skill you have as a world-class amazing singer apparently is not commensurate with how nervous you're going to get. Because there's a lot of people that don't get nervous at all, and you wish they were a little more nervous and a little more hesitant to get up and sing in front of other people. As a performance or life coach,
this isn't new to you. I mean, I'm sure you've encountered this with people.
I mean, my specialty is not necessarily on this kind of performance coaching, but it is interesting what happens in our brains that takes us away from sometimes being our best. And when whatever the story in Barbra Streisand or Carly Simon's brain is that keeps them from some just kind of doing what they were clearly in many ways born to do. It's funny, and you know it from sports perspective.
I was going to say it's the same thing. You could play a game for 20 years. You can still there's still nervous energy. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why that locker room is dead silent for the last 15 minutes before you go out for the introductions. There's a reason why you pace the sidelines. There's a reason why, and if you don't have some nervous energy about it, then I think that, there's something
But
wrong.
you just hit on something really important. That adrenaline can be fuel for performance enhancement, or it can scramble your brain a bit.
That's where a lot of mental coaches come in,
go
especially in
right.
golf. Some of these guys admit that I work with a performance coach, with somebody I can talk to, and instills in me confidence, so that when I'm over that putt, and not only are millions of people watching remotely, there are thousands around the green on 18. I can block that out and have confidence I'm going to make that 12-foot putt.
Right, and a lot of that performance coaching that we see at high levels in sports, and of course it started back with the Lakers, is meditation training, right? Because it's learning how to put your brain out of that fight or flight mode and get it into a more present, focused, no matter what the exterior stimulation is and how revved up you are because of that exterior stimulation. So good stuff. Somebody else who might have been a little nervous before last night, but he didn't really show it, was Conan O'Brien. And I didn't see the top of the show, so I missed some of his opening monologue jokes. But there's some good ones in there. See what you guys think about it. I mean, I thought all of those jokes, I thought those all hit. The first ones did hit.
Yeah, and they've certainly had more controversial hosts. Remember Ricky Gervais? I don't know if he ever did the Oscars, but he did the Golden Globes 5 times. And he was absolutely brutal.
Not afraid to poke the bear.
Poke the bear. He was brutal to the folks in the room as well as, speaking politically, too.
Speaking of people who are, in my opinion, brilliantly funny, Amy Fenster-Brown in the house, about to join us right after this commercial break. Make sure you keep your dial right here.
And now, KTRS weather.
Winter hits back really hard today with much colder temperatures, strong winds, even a couple of pockets of snow this morning. We're stuck in the 20s all day. The high this afternoon at 29. Wind chills in the single digits early and then between 10 and 15 this afternoon. Layer up, gang. Winds gusting out of the northwest 40 to 45 miles per hour this morning, slowly coming down this afternoon. And yes, some light snow from time to time this morning. Minimal impact from the snow, but a slick spot or two can't be ruled out. Then we clear out tonight. It's a frigid start to St. Patty's Day. 15 for the morning low, mostly sunny tomorrow and still chilly at 36. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's time to dance. Tune in to our NCAA Tournament Preview Show, Wednesday, March 18th at 7 o'clock. It's presented by Royal Banks of Missouri, T.R. Hughes Homes, and Lisi Lumber Company. College basketball lives on the Big 550.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
No matter how a taxpayer files their tax returns, the IRS encourages e-file. Spokesperson Robin Capehart.
Filing electronically or e-filing is the safest and most accurate way to file a return, and it's important to file early in order to prevent tax-related ID theft.
The agency also offers free file on irs.gov for Americans with an adjusted gross income of $89,000 or less. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Are you ready for tax season? Don't let the tax changes passed in the Big Beautiful Bill Act catch you off guard. Hi, I'm Jeff Azufal, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours, and my soon-to-be-released book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill. Since 1976, Capital Advisory Group has been saving our clients money year after year. Give us a call at 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Recently, a good friend of mine was changing the light fixture in their kitchen, and they took the light fixture off the ceiling, and they looked inside the ceiling and said, what is the phone number to Michael Baldy? If they would have listened to me, they would have put Michael Baldy's phone number in their phone, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. So here you go. The next time you need an electrician, you need to remember Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. So the phone number, 314-968-9999. Indoor, outdoor, an old Victorian home, knob and tube wiring, and anything and everything in between. You see, Michael Baldy is a licensed electrician, and he has a team ready to go. Whether it's something for the ceiling in the kitchen, something for the lights for the holidays, whatever it may be, Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. BaldyElectric.com, 314-968-9999, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. BaldyElectric.com.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The University of Missouri St. Louis is committed to providing top-ranked education. More than 80% of our students receive financial aid. At UMSL, more is what moves us. Find your more and explore your financial aid options at more.umsl.edu.
Frank and Jill Show on a Monday morning. So glad you're with us on KTRS, the Big 550 Talk of St. Louis. Jill Farmer, Steve Savard, Connor McCarthy, and Amy Fenster-Brown. I wait for your columns to come out in the St. Louis Jewish Light. They make me laugh all the time, and I just love it when you make time in your busy schedule to pop over and say hi. Thank you for being with us.
We have to get you a hobby, and you're welcome. And thank you. Does everyone feel the tension in the room?
Yeah, I do.
Do you, sir?
Hello, Amy.
Oh.
Hello, my old Channel 4 buddy and fellow Parkway North Viking.
That's us. Go Vikings.
Yes.
You know,
We have
Jill.
such a long history.
Long history.
Yes.
And in current modern times, when my husband and I run into Steve, he says things to Jeff like, I don't know how you do this. Right? He says things like, no, this was a choice. Right? Like,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Well, to this point, you've beaten the raps. But I've changed. I've changed law firms, though.
That's important.
I've gone upscale.
It's important to stay protected. I do want to remind you that your stepsons are home next week from college for spring break. I thought the zoo would be nice. I'd like to get a nice picture of the four of us, so maybe a haircut or whatever you
My stepson.
find appropriate.
I have two stepsons that I do know about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you mean in addition to ours? I would never disrespect my husband except for a segment with you. That's pretty much it.
Hence my questions to Jeff when I see him.
Okay.
What's
so
new, Amy?
What's new? Well, Jill
We
asked
haven't
me to
seen
come.
each
up-
other in a long
It's been a long
time.
time. When did you move back?
September.
Yeah, it's so funny. My phone didn't ring.
Oh.
So bizarre. What's the address?
I think you've changed your phone number.
No, I have a special bat phone.
You're
a
dodging.
Steve.
You're dodging the
Steve phone.
questions. The calls from my lawyers.
They call my lawyers. His people call my people.
I did ask Steve up front if it was going to make his workplace uncomfortable if we did have you come in because you notoriously have
you're
always
here,
been
aren't
a
you?
big
And I'm
fan.
here.
I am here. There's hardly space between us. I'm a big fan. Severe weather is scary.
Well, all I could
but
get
when
was the
Steve-
5-foot restraining order.
I'm only 5 feet tall.
Hence, I changed the law firm.
I'm only 5 feet tall, so it works out. When there's severe weather, two things are great. One, you learn the names of towns you didn't know existed. We have I don't know half the names, but two, usually Steve Savard would come on and comfort you at the beginning to warn you to go to the basement or whatever it is. And now you're back here. And so I know military stories aren't necessarily going to, deal with severe weather, but what if you were there and you just, severe weather happened, you're writing your little story, they just get you on set to calm us down before Scott Connell calms us
I
down.
haven't been approached about that.
Do you want my people to
No,
call?
it's fine. Scott's we're in good hands with Scott.
Okay. Yeah, I often text Scott during severe
you?
weather. Yeah.
And say less you and more
Turn left,
Savard.
turn right. You look adorable.
I'm sure he appreciates it.
He does. He needs my help. I was going to do a sexual harassment in the workplace seminar here with you today about why it's wrong. Steve, you and I were going to act out some of the inappropriate scenarios, but Buzzkill Jill put the kibosh on that and ruined all the fun. But I was going to do it in a tasteful,
He
artistic.
said he is still in therapy from the years you worked together and the harassment was
Absolutely.
happening. So he does feel strong enough to handle whatever you throw his way.
I mean, I had no business in the sports department, but there I was.
The whole station was in the sports department. I mean, you kidding me? This was the party place to be. Everybody escaped.
True.
I want everyone to know that this is all tongue in cheek. I mean, we do need to.
How dare you? Stephen
All
Fenster
right, never
Savard.
mind. Never mind. Never mind.
It is tongue in cheek.
There's no point in trying to keep the train on the tracks. Here
It's a fun friendship, full of respect and lust.
and you
Now,
wonder why there's no phone calls in September.
listen, I would have done that seminar in a tasteful, artistic way
I'm sure.
I studied
That's what
theater
you're
in
about.
college, which my parents thought the theater degree would be a waste of time, but the person who calls bingo at my mom's assisted living was sick a couple weeks ago. I enunciated, I projected. Who's laughing now?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. That
Theater
was
degree comes in handy.
That really does. Thank you. Thank
Let
you
me hear
so
you
much.
say C17.
C17, 1-7.
Nice.
Because what if they think it's 70?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
They're old.
Probably had to repeat, 4 times?
At least. So I did a little quiz. We're going to talk about you in St. Louis because you're back. We can see you on the TV. We can hear you on the radio.
Once a week for about 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, we can increase that.
I'm okay
my
with it,
people
really.
are working. Are you?
I'm actually okay with it, yes.
What are we doing the rest of our time? Golfing and whatnot?
Amy, that's stuff we've covered in the lawsuit.
Question number 1. Spell hall pass. Whoops, wrong quiz. Wrong quiz. Tell us, for those of us who want to know what it's like for you to be back here, what is the best part of moving back to St. Louis, Ben?
Never needing directions.
You can get anywhere?
Pretty much.
Do you know the names of the streets, or do you just know how to get there?
I know how to
this
get
isn't-
there. I can figure out.
Okay.
I can figure it out.
And that's been the best part.
No, the best part would be being home, being family, being near grandkids. Yeah. There's a comfortability factor.
Did you say
What's the right answer, Amy? Oh.
I think we all know. You have grandkids?
Yes. Step-grandkids, but grandkids nonetheless.
It's so hot. Okay.
9 of them.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. Christmas must be crazy.
It was pretty interesting. this
Super
year.
fun,
It was
though.
fun to be back home, yeah.
That's super fun.
Mm-hmm.
And all 9 of them are here?
All 9.
Wow. I don't have grandkids yet. So that's okay, though, because my kids are children. As the weather gets nicer, except for today, what are the best places in St. Louis, outdoor places for parents and grandparents to take their kids and grandkids?
Teach them golf. Could take them out and play golf with you.
That's a good one.
No, there's a million. There are a million
There's a
places.
million.
Out where we live, there are any number of. There's, I think, Quail Ridge in Wentzville. There is Bromosick Park right there on the way between O'Fallon and New Melly, where my mother-in-law lives. There are a number of places.
There's the zoo.
St. Charles County, yeah. Okay.
Oh, St. Charles County.
Yeah.
There's the zoo.
Okay.
A free attraction in St. Louis.
Okay, I knew that.
Yeah. Well, then you should
And he
have
was
said
just
it.
mentioning he's paid for some tickets with the grandkids. Like when his wife said, "Let's go take everybody to the Nutcracker."
Not
That was-
everybody,
okay,
just
thank
the
goodness.
3 oldest.
Oh, that's
the 3
sweet.
oldest. Yeah.
Have you been to the newly redone symphony?
Have not.
It's beautiful.
It
We were there a
is.
few weeks ago to see The Wizard of Oz with the symphony playing. It was amazing. That's a great, not outdoor, but a great indoor
Pictures don't
thing.
do it justice either. I would
Don't-
say you
Correct.
kind of have to
Don't
see
point
it.
your finger at me.
I'm sorry. Hold them. Let me sit on my.
Transportation Museum and Klondike Park rock, according to one of our listeners. I
Transportation
agree.
Museum's amazing.
Mhm.
It has that train.
I'm sorry, I didn't
outside.
want to interrupt you, Amy.
No,
I didn't
no,
mean to
please.
interrupt you.
I'd like you to go ahead. Anything else?
I'm done.
Oh, true or false? Alec Baldwin is your hair idol.
False. I don't have a. Listen, all I do is put super concrete level gel, barely comb it out. I saw myself on TV the first couple of weeks, and I'm like, my hair is lopsided. And this week, I at least I've actually, instead of a comb, I put a brush through it,
Oh.
and I look more human.
I think
My
it's
first
fabulous.
3 weeks back was like, what are you doing?
Everybody hop on Facebook or YouTube and you can look and see. I got some lopsided hair, speaking of which, but you can check out all of our hair if you watch us as well.
I mean, we are straight up ignoring you, aren't we?
No, I love it.
Look at us.
I'm just laughing.
I didn't even know you're
I love the chemistry is just
here.
hard to be
All
in the
right,
love.
well, here's one you'll enjoy.
Okay.
Steve went to Parkway North. I went to Parkway North. What is your best Parkway North story? Do you have a great time as a Viking that you want to share with us? What's your favorite thing, high school memory?
That's a really hard question. These are the questions I usually ask.
I
Like
know.
we asked the repertory, the rep theater artistic director, Kate, today, what her favorite play or moment was last
She
year.
said it was like picking a favorite child. I was listening.
Yeah.
And
was
yeah.
it football for you, or was just the whole experience?
I think the whole experience. I'm still friends. My high school friends. We just have such a, we have a great group of guys. We have a great group of parents that showed up at every sporting event. I would say for me, probably the highlight was playing football for Denny Staub, who was,
yes.
I love the man.
Coach
and,
Staub.
I love Coach Staub, and I'm still close with him. So, yeah, I would say if I had to pick something out, it would have been, yes, Amy, it would have been playing football over there at 12860 Fifi Road. And you better be tough playing football if your address is Fifi Road.
That's true. That's true.
That's my motto.
I was my year, which is many years after you. I was the mascot my senior year.
Are you serious?
It is very true.
That's awesome.
It was awesome, except for possibly, I think it was the homecoming game, and I might have illegally tasted an alcoholic beverage.
Oh.
And did that whole give me a V, give me an I. But
me a
then when I
C.
said pretty much, and I said, what's it spell? And my sister said, Vikings, stupid. that
was the giveaway.
That was the giveaway.
Right.
That was the giveaway. I do want to apologize if I made you uncomfortable at all playing hard to get today.
He's fine with that. Can you tell everybody why you named me Buzzkill Joe?
I have hours to process it, though.
You reached out to
before
me.
I have to do anything that requires any kind of skill.
We're double checking on Steve's marital status, even though you are very happily married, I should say too. But you were
absolutely.
double checking
We
ahead
are-
of time.
Steve and I are friends. He's the one that got away, but no, come on.
And you reached out and said, "Now how happily do you think he's married?" I said, "Very happily. We're no instigating any infidelity on the Frank and Jill show, Amy." And then you gave me a new nickname,
Buzzkill Jill.
Buzzkill Jill. That's
how far can I go?
Frank loves this. He agrees with that nickname so much. He was like, "This is the most brilliant nickname I've ever heard."
You know, it's an indication how uncomfortable this was. Connor stepped out
Connor
of the room
left.
for the last 5 minutes. Now he's back.
We shouldn't
Connor's
call her
had enough.
Buzzkill Jill because I remember, I think it was the first time I met her was a baby shower, like Gina Curry's baby shower. And you were like, "I have punch. Do you want hooch or not?" I'm a preacher's kid, right?
Did you work at Channel 2 as well?
No.
No. The first time I ever met you was through
Gina and Jill?
Yeah, but our mutual friend Ron Corning.
Ron
is where
Corning,
we originally
yes,
met.
that is
I don't know
true.
if you were around for Ron's years.
The weatherman.
No.
Oh, Ron Corning. Who
He was
am
a
I thinking
reporter and anchor, maybe?
Yeah, and then went down.
He's in
I
Dallas
was thinking
now.
Ron Yaros.
Yeah,
I was thinking Ron Yaros.
Yes, yeah, he went on to do much to all the big
kinds of
markets
things.
and national ABC News, and
Yeah, he's doing something in Dallas. No, I didn't work at Channel 2. I'm just wildly
You're just
popular.
connected. Yeah, you're just
But Channel 4 and Channel 5.
Channel 4, Channel 5, and
TV.
Channel 30. And I think Gina was at Channel 30.
When you guys
You
were
worked at all
together.
those places.
I did. 5, then 4, then 30, then 4, then 5. Then baby, then another baby. And now the St. Louis Jewish Light newspaper, which I know you read religiously, pun.
I do love your columns.
You're
And
very
speaking of
sweet.
which, I do want to just mention the Hershey's one was really funny for those who haven't seen it yet. All you have to do is put Amy Fenster Brown in, St. Louis Jewish Light. You can see the archives. But what inspired that column for those who haven't seen it yet?
What inspired that column, and Steve knows this because once he read it, he called me right away because he's a very avid reader. Do you remember the horrible accident in the 70s? There was a guy walking down the street. He was holding a chocolate bar. There was a woman walking on a perpendicular street holding a jar of peanut butter.
Just
and they
coincidentally.
collided. His chocolate got in her peanut butter. Well, no, wait. Her peanut butter got in his chocolate. It's very chicken and egg. But there's a lot you can learn from a tragedy that became a triumph. And in the column, I explained to you how this potentially disastrous event turned into a lesson one can use to keep themselves calm, cool, and collected.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
How many jokes did you write for Conan last night?
Only the good
you
one.
missed your true calling. You are a very funny person.
You're very kind.
You're a very funny person.
You're very kind. In high school, I had a part-time job right over here at the Funny Bone, and my parents had to take me to do comedy because I was underage.
And how'd you do?
I killed.
I bet.
I did all right.
You didn't want to try to make a living out of it?
I don't think I'm that funny anymore. I think I'm funny in a conversation, maybe.
You're funny when you write for the column, and there's always a good message in there. I mean, that's really a great
hope
life
so.
coaching message right there, right?
Oh my God, you should be a guest columnist. Buzzkill Jill life coaches you.
Oh my goodness.
Huh? She's in a rock band. Do you know?
No, I did not know that.
Jill?
If that's playing hard to get, says one of our texters, heaven help the man that she's actually attracted to.
His name is Jeff. His name is Jeff.
Wait, the guy who texted? Or
no.
the one? Oh, yeah.
The man we should all be worried about.
Listener, if you ever see me in public and you see my husband, he would love to tell you the way he tells Steve how I am holding him captive with love.
Yep. And we hold you in our hearts with great love. It's always a blast to have you here. Frank, sorry you had to miss you today, but of course I wanted you guys to, your old
It's
work
our
friends
time.
to be able to
This was
reunite.
Special.
Special.
Yep.
It was something.
Oh, it was
It's
something,
been
all
real.
right.
And
Connor's
it's been
like,
good.
oh, help me. But it hasn't been real good.
It hadn't been real good. Very fun, though. In all honesty, I love it when you come around. I hope you come back very soon
Thank
as
you.
well. And we'll talk funny columns and entertainment and all the things. We have more coming up in the show as well. So do not go away. Stick around. Frank and Jill Show with Steve Savard here today. We'll be right back after this.
Bye, Amy.
Bye.
Oftentimes we talk about make sure you support local. And of course, you want to support local. And when you support local and you need windows and doors, you call Larry Thornton and Joe Thornton from the Window Store, 314-739-0002. Why? Well, because they support local and you support local, right? And you're supporting your neighbor to make sure the job is done right. They go the extra mile. In fact, somebody called up Larry Thornton the other day looking for new windows. Larry went out to the house and said, "You don't need new windows. These windows are fine. Thank you very much. Call me back some other time." The other reason why you support Larry Thornton at the Window Store, 314-739-0002 is because local companies support charities. And the Window Store is a proud sponsor of the KTRS Radiothon to support Backstoppers. So a local company that'll do it right with great windows and great doors, and they give back to the community and big supporters of Backstoppers. You need windows, you need Window Store, wswindow.net.
I've been asked to say a word about Allen Roofing. That's not fair. I can't say it in a word. If they just did roofs, I probably could. I would say roofs. But they can do siding. They could replace it. They could put leaf guards on. They could reattach it like they had to do for me, where my gutter kind of came away from the house. Siding issues, they carry James Hardy, the very best. They can fix that too. Basically, if it's something you could see from the outside of your home or your office, they can fix it, improve it, or replace it. Look, it's probably the biggest investment you're ever going to make. Protect it. Absolutely. And nobody does it better than Allen Roofing. Check out all the reviews online. Everybody else seems to know. I shouldn't have to tell you these things. For all of your roofing needs and so much more, Allen Roofing. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Meet me at the Village Bar. Ready for the world's best cheeseburger, homemade onion rings, trashed wings? It's the Village Bar for food and sports. Cards, Blues, Mizzou, NFL, the game's always on. Open 7 days a week in De Pere. Grab your friends, grab a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
Get ready to launch into an out-of-this-world adventure with the St. Louis Blues. On March 26th, the Blues face off against the San Jose Sharks in an epic showdown in Enterprise Center. It's Star Wars theme night. Purchase a special theme ticket and receive an exclusive Blues Grogu bobblehead, the perfect addition to your Star Wars collection. Our in-game experience will be out of this world as well, with movie-related content and galactic characters roaming the concourse. Secure your seats now at stlouisblues.com/promotions.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Hey, John, why so glum? I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
When it comes to mortgage lenders, I know you have no shortage of options. But are you working with someone local who can truly simplify the process? I'm David Goldberg with the Goldberg Group, and as a St. Louis home purchase expert, I know this market inside and out. I specialize in tough-to-complete situations for borrowers who are self-employed, looking to buy and sell at the same time, and may have been turned down somewhere else. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or seasoned homeowner, you can trust me with all of your home financing needs. Call or text me at 314-471-4030. 314-471-4030.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
Wake up, it's a brand new day. Getting your weekday started the St. Louis way. It's the McGraw Show.
This is Carl O. Intern. I will be with McGraw Millhaven and Rose O'Dalton on St. Patrick's Day. Grab a board. Let's go to Dogtown.
McGraw Millhaven, Rose Dalton, and Carl the Intern. Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Right here on your hometown station, the Big 550 KTRS.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna, they get a team that truly cares about their success. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Frank and Jill showed you eat any good food in Chicago, Connor, when you were up there enjoying the
We had some Irish food at the Irish bar. So like they had corned beef and shepherd's pie, which was actually pretty good. It was pretty good, all things considered.
Was it really?
Yeah, you know the shepherd's pie is fine.
I'm always afraid to try that.
You don't like shepherd's pie? No. It's just like ground beef and potatoes. What are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of something else.
Well, the original shepherd. Are you thinking of like haggis or one of?
No,
the,
I know. No.
to stay away
That's a
from
different
that.
category.
It kind of sneaks up on me often, and it did this year. I will be stopping on my way home before I go get to my afternoon coaching clients to get the corned beef that I had failed to previously purchase, because I do love corned beef and cabbage on.
You do the cabbage.
Mhm.
I always
and potatoes.
I can't go
and carrots.
I'm fine with the meat, but I don't go in for
Boiled cabbage doesn't thrill
it.
you.
It doesn't excite me. Yeah.
Well, when I would say in general, boiled cabbage is on the top of my list. Cabbage that has been cooked in salty beef fat tends to taste pretty good. So
Yes.
that's what kind of helps the process for me as well. But there's just something about it. I don't eat it often, but corned beef, potatoes, and a little bit of cabbage I think is pretty good. Do you guys, Royal Banks of Missouri text line 84126, before we let you go, anybody have a place that you like to go out to get some good Irish fare as we're celebrating St. Patty's Day, say all weekend, last weekend, maybe through next weekend as well? I'd be curious where you guys go.
You'll notice there aren't a lot of like Irish restaurants around.
No.
You know, that just serve Irish food, not like Italian places.
Right, and even O'Connell's. I mean, they have an Irish sort of flair to the experience, but it's not like they specialize in purely
Right.
Irish food. But I do love shepherd's pie. Anytime you got mashed potatoes and ground beef and some saucy veggies, there's a lot to like there as well. You're a really, really healthy eater, so that's probably you're not eating.
I'll indulge. I mean, the other day talking about lunch meats and corned beef, pastrami. Sometimes it's just I ordered from a local restaurant, and they misheard me. I ordered a Cuban sandwich. Well, they gave me a Reuben.
Oh, I love Reuben.
And I don't like sauerkraut.
Oh,
it's too bad because sauerkraut's great for you.
Yeah,
it's like avocado. I don't like it. It's one of the superfoods for you. Anyway, but I end up liking the sandwich.
Yep.
And next time I was in the store, I saw a pastrami and Swiss sandwich, and I bought it just on that. But corned beef right now sounds very good to me.
Did you? So when you got the Reuben, did you just take all the sauerkraut
No,
off?
I just ate it like a big boy.
Okay. Well, and it is
I
funny.
cinched up my big boy pants and ate it.
There is food like that sometimes we don't like when we're kids, and then it kind of is blended on a sandwich or
Are
something
you kidding?
like
I
that.
wouldn't eat I thought a vegetable was corn when I was a kid. I mean, I thought a green leafy vegetable was corn.
Right.
Now I eat kale and broccoli and
Mom, I eat all the vegetables, onion rings.
No, I won't eat Brussels sprouts. No way in the world will I eat Brussels sprouts.
Even when they're roasted with a lot of bacon.
If they're
and
shaved thin and in a salad, I can stomach them. Otherwise, no. The smell alone.
So when they're not like Brussels sprouts, then you're fine. But, otherwise,
you're on to me, Connor.
Yeah.
You're on to me.
But the way we ate them when we were kids, which was boiled Brussels sprouts, which was so bitter and so slimy and disgusting, nobody serves it that way anymore. So I do appreciate that.
McGill's Irish Pub in Collinsville, says one listener.
Okay.
Delaney,
South
County.
County. And somebody is saying, Jill's had more than one hot tater tot hot dish up in Iowa. Boy, I sure did. Every church potluck, which was many times a month. And I do know my way around a green bean casserole and a tater tot casserole, that's for
Nice.
sure. Hey, very fun, Steve. I know you're really busy. I gave you a slew of days to choose from today, and we were lucky
Thanks for
enough to
having
get
me.
you in.
I didn't think I was, but I'm heading to a story to interview a Vietnam veteran, Ray Walls.
And when can our listeners
Thursday
tune
nights
in?
at 5 and 6. The big story airs at 6. They have a little bit of teaser at 5. Thursday at 6 on KSTK.
When I haven't been around on a Thursday, I've been able to rewatch them on social media too. They've done a good job of
Thank you.
replaying them. So very good stuff. Connor, good to have you back in the house as well. Especially great to have each and every one of you guys. Stick around. John Carney up next along with Max, and then Heidi's show later this afternoon. Keep your dial right here and make it a great day, everybody. You deserve it. Happy Monday.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we